Let me share my real estate journey's lessons, both triumphs and struggles.
And I put together, by the way, do you guys see this picture here? I put this picture together with ChatGPT in about 15 seconds. How long would this take me to do manually on a laptop computer? Not 15 seconds, I'll tell you that. Maybe 30, 60 minutes or something like it. Just typed in, if you haven't fooled around with ChatGPT 4.0, it's free. And you type in, I said, type me in, I need a picture for my group training call, and I want it titled My Best and Worst Deals, The Long Road to Becoming a Real Estate Millionaire. And I said, I want pictures from Chula Vista and San Diego and Rancho Santa Fe and all the areas I know of. In 15 seconds, it put this together for me. What's the value of time in business? Very valuable, right? You guys can see my screen okay? Let's go on here. A little history here. My parents are both immigrants. I was born and raised in New York City in Manhattan. Four of us, my brother, mom and dad and me, lived in a little one-bedroom apartment at 4580 Broadway in Upper Manhattan. And my dad saved his money, and he bought his first home, a summer home for us in Macy's. You guys know what is Macy's still around? Sure it is. For $5,000 in 1955. Okay, let me see if I can show that. A little summer house there, $5,000 that house in Northwest New Jersey up there. They even named the road after my grandfather, Bernard. That's how rural New Jersey was in the 50s. Sold it they passed away, and my brother and I sold it for $120,000 in 1996. Okay, so what is that? 41 years? 41 years, $120,000. That's the way, that was appreciation in those days. What would you break that down to? Someone who's good in math. What's that? What's the appreciation over 41 years there? Well, it's a $115,000 profit, right? Today, it's selling for $375,000. And it hasn't changed much. It's the same little summer cottage home. They built an addition on it though, over here on it. So I just wanted to share that. My first real estate deal, it was actually, I bought it from the bank, Mid-Atlantic, if you ever heard about it. I made it into a lease purchase, which I learned from my mentor. In 1986, I got it for $29,000, a one-bedroom condo. It had a little balcony. It had 1.5 bathrooms, I believe. I had $100 a month positive cash flow. Does anyone remember when $100 was money? I mean, you could buy a lot of groceries for $100 at one time. I had one lease purchase tenant for 9 years. Okay. He just kept every year. I did 1-year contracts, and every year he kept renewing the contract. What was his name? Cavanus, I think it was his last name. He kept, and then this is funny. So he contacted me in the 9th year, and he built up all this residual rent credit and option money and everything. Guess what he did? He moved out and he bought the house downstairs instead. Do you think I minded, by the way? Not at all. I got the house back. I refinanced it 2 times, and I bought a second condo in that development. And in 95, I sold it for $180,000 each. One of the worst deals I've ever done. Does anyone know where San Ysidro? Did you ever hear the San Ysidro massacre? This is really going back. It was a McDonald's that had a terrorist attack. You might want to Google it. San Ysidro is right on the border of Mexico, right on the border. Nice little place. I got it for $120,000. And it was a high maintenance. One of my rules of success in business is good homes in good neighborhoods. San Ysidro is high maintenance. Let it go at that. Okay, you're going to have to read my mind for the rest. I was not getting quality tenants who like to pay their bills on time, or in those days they used checks and things like that, and that bounced. Malicious damage. It was a high maintenance property. And something about this is the stuff realtors, this is the stuff the gurus never tell you about. They make every property's wonderful. You're going to make money. You're going to make a killing and everything. Do they ever tell you about what do you do when you have a tenant who doesn't pay you on time, or pays you late, or invites other people to live in, or does structural damage? or builds a wall inside without zoning or anything. Builds. I had one property. The tenants built a separate wall. They divided the living room so they could rent it out. They built a wall inside the property. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, right, Gary? Today, this property is worth 345. It was high tenant turnover. It was rent collection. We sold this property, I think, within 2, 3 years after purchasing it. We still made money, not a lot of money. It was just too much maintenance. So, word to the wise: good homes, good neighborhoods, and you got to be a good manager. The question came up yesterday. What do gurus always say? Hire a management company. Okay. You guys want me to tell you the truth about management companies? Okay. Joseph, you have stories about this too. Management companies don't care about you losing money. Is that too opinionated? They don't. Nobody cares about you losing money except you, your family. And they usually a lot of times when the tenant was paying late or getting a month behind or more, I'd always ask them, why didn't you do something right away? Why did you wait? So I got out of the management thing and I got into self-management because I knew I could do a better job. Maybe it's an A personality thing, okay? But I'd rather make sure I get paid on time because I'm paying the mortgage, the taxes, the homeowner associations, things like that. Let's go to the next one. Here was a property in Spring Valley, California. Okay. Ridgeway Court, a real estate agent. By the way, should we network with real estate agents to find deals? Say yes. Somebody say yes here. I'm the only one talking today. Yeah, the thing about it is, I had a real estate, Bob Ethington, I remember his name, great real estate agent. And I said, Bob, this is what I'm looking for: properties I can make money on, motivated sellers, people with high equity that were willing to hold a note. Okay, so I wouldn't have to qualify as much for the bank, or if it was free and clear, would they hold the entire note, or could we do a lease purchase? You guys know anything about me? I've written several books, Lease Purchase Bible and Lease Purchasing for the 21st Century. I love the use of options and you guys know we've talked about this in previous Monday groups. I can on Mondays with a lease purchase, I can get out of the deal. I have a safety net. I can make money up front every month and at the end of every deal without the liabilities and everything else. Anybody have a question? Ridgeway Court, the real estate agent called me up. He said, Claude, I have a very motivated sellers. It was an illness. They had to leave California and move to Florida. Basically, it was called a VA no-no in those days. Yes? Okay. And I got the property for $250 with the existing mortgage on it, $86,000. And it was, and $500 I gave the owners. Just give them some money to help them move. Okay. $750 to get a property. Okay. I sold it for about 4 years later for $129,000, and I was glad to get rid of it. It would never. Here's your takeaway for the day. You guys ready? You got your pen and paper ready? Okay. Never buy properties near gangbang high crime neighborhoods. Okay. This was a nice looking condo development. It's hard to tell from this picture. I just saw it as a nice development, but the encroaching crime area was coming very quickly to where this property was. I didn't get the best tenants. I had one set of tenants. They actually took the washer, dryer, and the dishwasher out of the property and put it in the backyard. They took out the appliances and put them in the backyard and they were working fine. I know, I put them in. Okay. Today this same property, 2025, sells for $485. I did recent Googles on all this stuff. So properties that cause you headaches, keep you up at night, cause you stress, raise your blood pressure. What should you do with them, Joseph?
Get rid of them.
Get rid of them. Life is too short to deal with, as we say in New York City, tenants and turlets. Or Archie Bunker used to say that, right? Turlets. Anybody remember Archie Bunker? Happy.
I remember Archie, but I don't remember him saying that.
Yeah, turlets. They eat it. Go check the toilet, deals that got away. I like to talk about the mistakes. Is it okay to talk about the mistake deals? If you notice on all these mistake deals, though, I always made money still. 86 to 129. That's not a bad check, but I got rid of this after a couple years too. Just couldn't deal with it. Wasn't worth the headache. If I kept it today, who knows? Ruidoso, New Mexico. Claudia and I and the kids took a little vacation. When we take vacations, guess how you make it tax deductible?
Do business.
You do business. You look at real estate. You call up a couple realtors, right? If the IRS wants to double check you, can you prove it? Sure. Call up Remax, call up this and that. We found in the town, Ruidoso is this cute little town. It's outside Alamogordo. It's not far from I don't think it's too far from Texas. I think it's 5 hours driving from Texas or something like that. And it has mountains, it has skiing, it has a little airport, it has gambling, it has an Indian reservation. It is one of the most perfect those little cute towns with the gift shops and everything that people love. You can look at this town. Don't you see old school America? And it was 25,000 for 5 acres. Today, and I didn't buy it. And I'll tell you why in a minute. But today, it's $250,000. That same 5 acres for 25 in the span of not that many years. My wife wouldn't let me buy it because they had a little explosion nearby. Remember, I said it was near Alamogordo, and near Alamogordo is a little place in the desert called Trinity Point. Any buffs here? What's Trinity Point?
I don't know.
Anybody?
I have no idea.
Where they dropped nuclear bombs.
The first nuclear bomb, okay, in World War II was exploded there. Very dirty bomb in the area. Okay, and guess what happens to nuclear bombs that explode in the desert? They go everywhere on that. And this was a little bit too close, and our kids were small, so we thought we better pass on it. But if you ever go, this is the most. It has a little river through the town and everything. It's a fantastic area. This one got away. Truckee, California. I've talked about Truckee. Is anyone familiar? Lou, tell everybody about Truckee. Isn't it a great little town?
Yes. Was it in between Los Angeles and San Clemente, or I forget what it is.
No, it's in between Reno
and Sacramento.
Reno, Nevada.
Oh, Truckee, yes.
And
yes,
also a little town called Lake Tahoe.
That's right. You're right.
Which has all the ski areas. Lake Tahoe has some of the most expensive real estate I don't think you can get a lot on the lake at Lake Tahoe under 2.5, 3 million anymore. A lot. Forget about the house. On there. And Claudia and I would drive in. We would fly places with the kids, rent a car, and just drive around different areas we wanted to see. And this town, I said, this town's in the right place. You can either go down to Reno, you got a full city down there, you can gamble, entertainment, you can go to those and get those buffets there. Okay. And the thing is, you can also go skiing and the lake and the beautiful mountains and everything. And I should have bought some land there at the least, because land was really cheap 20 years ago. Okay. Today, look what a house in Truckee goes for. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
$3 million. That's Truckee. It's still, I think, 45, 50 minutes away from Lake Tahoe and North Star and all those ski areas. It's still a little bit of a distance. You want to say something, Lou?
Yeah, I just remembered how we used to always take the 395 up through Truckee into Lake Tahoe.
Yeah.
And there was nothing there. It was just
it was nothing. It was let me say it this way. It was a little country, a little redneck town. Had a gas station, had the railroad go through the middle of town, had the typical little coffee shop diner, had one police car kind of town. Today, there's multi-million-dollar homes in that town. I could have probably picked up a couple lots or acres there for $15,000, $20,000 20 years ago. Yeah. Today, there's $1 million homes. What's my point here? What's the takeaway from this?
Better get in.
Sometimes I think you've got to recognize the potential of an area, the undiscovered country. Okay, was that a Star Trek movie? Undiscovered country. Sometimes you got to say to yourself, somebody's going to discover this place someday, and a big company is going to come in and build and develop it. And those little $5,000, $10,000 acre lots, half acre lots, they're going to be worth hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars. Somebody's going to find this thing. What did we see? What was our takeaway from the pandemic? What happened to real estate in nice rural suburban areas during the pandemic? Where did people go?
It blew up. They went to Salt Lake City, Utah, these very sprawled out areas that are just far from
Yeah.
everything else.
So this was another one that got away. It's between Reno and Lake Tahoe. Perfect area. Here was one of my, Lou, you know this area. You know Villa Martinique. I own 12, my wife and I own 12 units. I was actually the president of this development. I think there's 244 units in there. I have up here what I paid for them on here. Roughly 47, 64, 79,000, 86. I got them. They were all in the Stone Age. You could get these things under 100, literally under $100,000. Okay. They had one property that was my favorite. I think I had 5 of them. It was a 1-bedroom loft. Okay. Or it wasn't even a bedroom. It was just a loft, but it was one of the best looking lofts I've ever saw. It had a loft balcony with a bathroom upstairs, a full bathroom. Downstairs, it had a half bathroom. To get to the loft, it had this really cool spiral staircase, that you see in the old British movies. And downstairs, they had a big glass entrance to your own little backyard patio, just a cute little 100-square-foot patio, where you could garden and everything. And I love this for one reason. I thought it was the perfect place for young couples living together, young singles. Okay. And it was a great rental. We had 12 of those. That's why I volunteered for the homeowner association. Never volunteer for homeowner associations, by the way. Okay. Nobody ever says thank you. And all you do is get meetings about parking and dog poop. That's all you get. Lou, do you live near here? Do you live around there, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I live in Old Time Ranch, just like a hop, skip, and a jump
Okay.
from. Yeah.
This is one of the best investments I ever made. By the way, I have a movie. I think it's on YouTube. If not, you guys can have it. I made a movie about these properties also about 18, 19 years ago at least, called Lease Purchasing the Movie. And I took these properties and I either rented them or I lease purchased them to other people. Why do I lease purchase them to other people? Take a guess. 1 year leases with options to purchase.
No turlets.
No tenant and turlet problems because they see themselves as future buyers. They give you a non-refundable option money, which you get a big chunk of change. You put it right in your pocket up front, can be up to 10% of the purchase price. Okay. You get people who want to pay you on time. In your contract, you designate that they do the maintenance on it as part of the option agreement. You're going to own it. You might as well learn to take care of it. Don't call me if the toilet doesn't flush or the sink is leaking. It's not my job. You're going to own this someday. Guess what happens to most of these people who do 1-year lease purchases? Majority of them. How many of you think exercise the option in the first year? It's less than 10%. If they renew for a second year and you get more option money, it goes up to about 15 to 20%. But the majority of properties I always got back. Do I mind? Why don't I mind? Look at the valuation today.
Oh, yeah.
$285,000 for 1-bedrooms that I purchased for $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. The loft one now goes for $389,000 that I was talking about. Then they also have a 2-bedroom model that goes for $525,000 now. $500,000 for a 2-bedroom condo that is barely, I don't even think it's more than 750, 800, 820. I think it's 825 square feet. That number just popped in my head. So this is East Lake, pre-developed condo area. They built a man-made lake. It's like a big skateboard lake, really, if they ever drained it. And they built all these condos and houses around it and threw a few ducks and geese in there. And watch that movie, Lease Purchase, the movie. It's I talk a lot about this development. Really launched our real estate career. Here is a place, I don't know if you know this place, Lou. It's on 4th Avenue. Got it for $68,000. It's called the Touch of Spain. It's on 4th Avenue and maybe, I don't know if it's J Street or H Street or something.
He knows the arches, but
yeah,
I can't place it off my top of my head. Yeah.
Anyway, today, 1-bedroom, 1-bath, $370,000. Do you think I like that deal? Do you think I made some good money on that property? You bought it, better believe it. Hilltop Village. I don't know. Oh, I didn't put a picture. Oh, yeah, I did. Do you recognize? This is in Chula Vista. A lot of these properties, by the way, I got get on the lists for VA foreclosures, FHA foreclosures, things like that. A lot of these deals. This was a really nice condo I picked up from the VA. It's where you put in a bid on it, you inspect it. It's usually under market by 10, 15, 20%. And picked it up for 160. Today it's worth $585,000. Good rent, very good rental property because it's right off the 805. Oh, that's where it's near, Lou. What is that? J Street and the 805. Lou knows what I'm talking about here because we know the same area. Here was something a little bit more recent. This was South Pasadena, 2022. I've talked about this investment property. I did with my daughter. 709, motivated seller, wanted to get out. What does every guru at every seminar say? Find the motivated seller, right? Like they grow on trees. Okay. Sometimes people are willing to give up their equity for time value, right? Remember that. Okay. So this was a situation where they had to move, they had to get out. It fell out of escrow. That's what happened. It was an escrow. It was delayed. They extended it. It fell apart. My daughter had a realtor told me about it. And I just, what do you say to somebody who you know is motivated? You know the property is under market. What should you always say to them? What's the key guts question to ask them? Is that the best you can do? Is that offensive? Is that all right to ask that question? Yeah, it's a good question. Guess what? They came down to 795. Today it's worth, I would say, there's some repairs and things put in there, some new drywall, some new painting and stuff. It's a really nice, I don't know, can you guys see the picture? That's not a great picture, but it's in South Pasadena. South Pasadena is really nice, by the way. They have tropical, it's like Hawaii. They have those beautiful birds in the trees out there, those colorful birds. Or all over the trees there. It's a nice neighborhood. Today it's I would say $1.3 million. Okay, so in 3 years to make a $500,000, is that good business? You better believe it. Villa Palmera we're trying to remember. We have properties here still. This is on J Street we picked a little area. It's called, I've always been big on Chula Vista. Chula Vista is a suburb south of San Diego. It has colleges, it has Apple Store, Costco, it has Walmart, it has everything. It has highway access to the 5, the 805, the 125. Is that by you, Lou? 125?
Yep.
It has access to all the highways. It's Lou, how would you describe Chula Vista, East Chula Vista?
Well, the only way you can go is further east towards the mountains. So there's a lot of land. There's a lot of they're building right now a lot of hotels because we have a convention center coming up off the coast, and so people are getting ready for it. So for this massive influx of people.
That's right. You just developed a $1 billion convention center. $1 billion. You notice how they're using that $1 billion word a lot lately? All of a sudden, nobody says million anymore. It's always billion. How can a convention center and a development by the waterfront in Chula Vista cost $1 billion? But they found they found the money, didn't they? Hey, listen, how could they raise $68 billion to build a railroad that has 1,700 feet of track built in 5 years? We won't go there. I bought 3 of these homes for 160 to 180. I also lease purchased one home from somebody. Today, they are worth upwards of $825,000. From 160, 180 to 825 in the span of about 25 years. They rent upwards of $3,200. They're very nice little homes. They're 3 and 4 bedroom homes. They're small, but they have a nice big garage. They have everything. This is what people want in California. Can you imagine for your starter home, under $1 million? Amazing. We've done very well in this area. I mean, the property we have in this development is free and clear. Okay, you own a home long enough. By the way, how should you finance? When you finance conventionally and you have a good month and you have an extra $250, What should you do with that $250? Where's a good place to invest it? Go ahead, Alonzo. You're my expert.
Own business, reinvest it in your business.
How about reinvest it back into your property and pay down the principal? What happens when you have a property free and clear? How good does that feel? It was always one of my priority goals in business. Let's see, what's the next one we have here? Severance, Colorado. This is an investment I did with my son. It's a little suburb outside Fort Collins. I was just talking with my son the other day. It used to be farmland. It has a lot of police live there. It has absolutely no crime. Guess what happens when you have a lot of cops live in a neighborhood and they park the cop cars outside? Is that a plus? You better believe. They have no crime there. It's zero crime. Very lovely development on there. Bought it for $425 in 2023. Today, it's easily worth $550. I would venture to say even closer to $600 plus on this. I just checked this the other day on it. $425 to $550 in 2 years. What do you got? That's $125,000 in equity.